I always say this. You cannot underestimate the power that your words can have on somebody else. The first person to come and see me in hospital when I was diagnosed with leukemia was my coach, outside of my immediate family. And he said to me, James, it's just another fight. And literally, I get shivers down the back of my neck every time I say it.
As soon as you
Because
heard
I remember,
them words.
like, yeah, and every single day, I wrote it on the wall. Just another fight. 3 words. So I was telling myself every day that basically it's like, how many fights have you got? I don't know, hundreds. And as a fighter, in tournament fighting, you face up to different people all the time. You know, you're staring people down, and there's nothing more intimidating than going into a ring or on a mat or in a cage or whatever with somebody who's trying to punch and kick your head off. So cancer ain't beating me.
Yeah, you're not.
And every single day was like, this is just another fight I need to get through. Every day's a fight. Every round of treatment's a fight. Every bit of bad news, every repercussion, every side effect, every knock-on illness, whatever it may be, everything is just another fight. And it was just a question of getting through the rounds mentally to be able to come out the other side of it. But the only difference now was, like, you always know going into fight, you tell yourself there's only one winner, but, you know, somebody else can best you. But there was no way this was going to beat me.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, that's exactly how I've looked at life, and that's why I love boxing so much.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of life. That life is a fight. That you got to fight for what you believe in. You got to fight for love, for friendship, for everything in life. So, you know, I can imagine how you transferred them skills in sport into your real life actually benefited you. Yeah. So that means you was out of action for the sports for quite a considerable amount.
I was out, like I say. So I went into hospital on the 10th of May 2010, and I underwent 5 courses of chemotherapy, during which I was in hospital for 5 weeks at a time because it completely destroys your immune system, so you can't leave. And then you get a week out to sort of recover. Literally what they do is they go, well, let's let your blood cell count come back up before we can back it again.
Literally
kicking you while you're down. Do you know what I mean? And they do that 5 times, or did that with me 5 times. So I was in remission, and I came out. I was out of hospital for 6 months, and then I went back in, and I was in hospital again for another sort of 5 months, and had a stem cell transplant, obviously. So yeah, I was out of, and then as a result of, or following on from that, I was told I'd never be able to fight again. So I was told from the September or October that I came out of hospital in 2011, it was basically 2 summers that I was treated for, or during, that I would never fight again. It wouldn't happen because I'd lost 10% of my lung capacity.
And how did you take to that when you heard that?
Fuck you. I'll prove you wrong. And I did. So I didn't take no for an answer. I've never been good at taking no for an answer. It's sometimes a negative character trait of mine. But, you know, I
think sometimes the problem for some people is they take no too literally, and they don't push on something as well. Yeah. And I think you're better off pushing really hard on something before you really take it as a no, before you just give up at the first hurdle.
I think that I remember them saying to me, so I remember the doctor saying, James, you've lost 10% of your lung capacity. You're never going to be able to compete at that level again. But like, you won't notice it, you know, walking around, going through, you won't be able to, you know, do what you used to do by a million miles or whatever. And you probably won't be able to, you know, run 10Ks or whatever. Not that I'd want to. And I went, I cough. I said, what's the damage? He was like, well, because I had the maximum capable treatment they could give you, because I had something called total body irradiation.
Right.
And total body irradiation essentially is the most powerful cancer treatment they can give you, because it's radiotherapy everywhere. And the idea is that essentially what it has to do is hollow out your bones. So they know that through chemotherapy, even though I went into remission, it's going to come back.
Right.
So the next step is, before a stem cell transplant, you need new stem cells. So my sister was a matched donor. Great. But in order to facilitate that, I had to destroy my own stem cells in my bone marrow. So all my bone marrow had to be hollowed out, so that left to my own devices, I would never produce another blood cell again. So I'd need somebody else's stem cells in order to generate new blood.
And is that what the therapy done? It basically gets rid of all the marrow?
Absolutely.
Really?
Follows it out. So what they do is they give the donor We gave my sister a growth hormone, so it spikes production of stem cells. And stem cells, if you don't know, literally turn into everything. And then they put all her blood, take her blood out, put it through a machine, detaches all the stem cells and puts her black blood that she needs back in her, basically.
Right.
And then to the patient, then you basically, they completely hollow out your bone marrow so that you're never going to produce another stem cell again, because otherwise you could produce a cancer cell
again. Right.
They don't want that. And then obviously they infiltrate your bone marrow with new stem cells just via a transfusion. That's it. And obviously hope for the best.
Was that a painful process?
Not really. It was a profound process, but not a painful one. I mean, the treatment's painful. You're going through the most intense chemotherapy you can imagine. Like, I had 11 rounds of chemotherapy in that 15-month period and 6 bouts of total body irradiation. My body was wrecked. But it's like, it's nothing that, there's no symptoms that we haven't felt before. I remember thinking like, but similarly, I guess it's, if somebody has radiation poisoning, which is effectively what I had as a result of total body radiation, your body feels like it's breaking down because, you know, you've had such...
100%.
And you're sick, diarrhea, constipation. It feels like your body's
shutting
giving
down.
up on you.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what's happening if it weren't for, you know, a new injection of stem cells afterwards.
Which you know, one thing that does intrigue me by all of that is your mindset that you still had throughout that journey.
We've all been sick. Yeah, we've all had the shits. We've all been constipated. It's just tenfold all at once, or not much gap in between. And so what? So I remember thinking there's light at the end of the tunnel because I'm one of the lucky ones. Because I'm one of the people that's got a donor, and I was in the best possible case because my sister was a perfect match.
What's the kind of like odds?
1 in 4.
1 in 4 people.
So for two brothers and sisters, or a brother and sister to be expected to be the same, there'd have to be 8 of you. Mad, right?
That's
1 in
crazy.
4 chance that a sibling is going to be a perfect match.